welcome to the maiden edition of Teens Affairs, a program where we get to discuss issues and problems affecting teenagers and young adults in the society and the world at large. My name is Tracy Aziengbe, and today on Teens Affairs, we'll be talking about time management. What exactly is time management, and how should teenagers and young adults manage time effectively? This and many more we'll be looking at today on the program. And joining us today on the program to discuss time management is, do you really want to know? I'll tell you right after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Teens Affairs on Foursquare TV, and today we'll be talking about time management. And joining us today to discuss this topic is, on my left, and on my right, we have a teens counselor named. You're welcome, sir. And we also have, on my far left,
Daniel Akimbuli.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you all with us today.
Thank you for
All right. Okay, Bola, can you tell us, what is time management?
Okay, so time management is the effective use of time.
All right. Okay. Okay, Jola, do you want to help us out? What is time management to you? What does it mean?
Well, basically, I think it's the ability to maximize your time.
Maximize your time. All right. Okay, Pastor Tunde, what are you doing?
Yeah, time management is, like they have rightly said, your ability to make the maximum use of the time that you have to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. You mentioned effective. If something is to be effective, is that it's achieving the purpose, the goal for which it has been put into existence.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So do you really think that discussing time management as a teenager, how important do you think it is? Bola, do you want to help us out?
Okay, so recently, about last week, I was speaking with my friends.
Okay.
And I was like, so you guys are actually wasting time.
Okay.
Told them the SI unit of life is time. A dead man about to die in hospital, if you ask him what he wants, he'll tell you you should give him time. You won't ask for money.
Okay.
So time is very valuable to human beings.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bola. Jola, do you have anything to add to that? How important is discussing time management?
I agree with him. Time is life, basically, and you only have a specific amount of time. We don't know how long we have, so I think it's just reasonable to manage your time, to use your time properly.
Okay. So talking to Pastor Tunde Oyediran,
Right.
how important is this topic to teenagers and young adults in the society?
Thank you. It's very, very important because you see that in our society today, you see a lot of young people not having direction for their lives, not actually pursuing anything that is specific for their lives. And in the process of trying to be like other guys around, around there or out there, they tend to try to do many things, be all things to all people, and not pursue a specific target for their lives. And of course, because of distractions all around, in the usage of the social media platforms and their phones and all those stuffs, you see that they tend to drift away, from things that are very, very important to the achievement of God's plan and purpose for their life. So time management, talking about time management is very, very important. And it's something that should be encouraged everywhere, especially where young people are gathered or where young people are concerned. Time management should be discussed.
Okay, so we heard from Pastor Tunde Oyediran. We heard from Pastor Tunde Oyediran about the importance of discussing this topic. Now, I'm going to ask you, Bola, talking about social media, it's something that is trending, like teenagers love. In fact, social media is something we can't do without these days. So how would you advise a teenager who is always on social media? Or rather, I should ask you, how often do you visit social media?
Okay, so most times I do social media fast.
Okay.
Call it social media fasting because I won't go online for some days.
Are you serious? You do that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
So depending on the issue on ground, if I have a very, very serious exam to take,
Okay.
I go on social media fast.
Okay, Bola, truthfully tell me, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
So
Go on,
after
wait.
praying,
Okay.
okay, and then maybe I drink water,
Okay.
then I go pick my phone.
Wow,
Next
okay.
thing
You visit
going
Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and that kind of thing. Wow, okay. So Jola, do you want to tell us, talking about social media, So how often do you visit social media?
I'm being truthful. So, okay, so first of all, I'm not a social media person.
Okay.
Like, obviously, I use social media, but
Alright.
I'm not a fanatic. So I think so one thing I do is I don't go on Instagram because I just realized that you go from one picture to like 50 pictures, do you understand? And then you're there for a long time. And so it can really be very tricky, really, especially WhatsApp. Like WhatsApp is like our major social media. Like, and then so you chat to somebody and just want to say hello, and then before you know it, you're there for like 2 hours. It can really be. So I think what I try to do is structure my time.
Okay.
You understand? So if I have something to do, if I want to read a book today, I just don't go to my phone at all.
Wow.
That's just the truth, because you can say I will control my time, but you go from one picture to like a dozen pictures, or you go from one chat to like 50 chats.
Okay.
It doesn't end.
So Jola, you're telling me that there are no temptations to want to visit WhatsApp,
Of
just
course
chat.
there are. Of course.
So what happens in cases like that?
Well, sometimes you just give in. Truthfully, sometimes
Truthfully.
sometimes I give in, but then, so that's why if I want to achieve something, I don't go to my phone. It doesn't mean that sometimes just put your phone down.
Okay.
Okay, because you can't let the stuff control you.
All right. Thank you, Jola. Thank you very much. Okay, sir, can you share with us some of the causes of poor time management amongst teenagers and young people in the society?
Well, the first thing, thank God for what she said, that if I have something to do, I put down my phone, I focus on that. I think one of the reasons why people mismanage time, particularly young people that we're talking about, is a lack of understanding that time is not just money. Time is life.
Sure.
The unit of measurement of life is time. All right, that's why I think in Psalm chapter 90, verse 12, it says, "Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our heart to wisdom." Yeah, talking about time management is applying your sense, your heart to wisdom. So the number one thing, the number one reason why people waste their time, they don't manage their time properly, is lack of understanding of the fact that time is life. That's number one. Number two is lack of understanding of purpose, personal purpose, and not having maybe visions and goals for one's life. Anything goes. Like someone says, if you don't have goals, you behave like goats. That's a goat. So anything goes. When you don't have a vision, you don't have a specific purpose for your life. You wake up in the morning and you're looking around, checking your phones, social media, trying to see what's happening there, what's happening in Nollywood, what is happening there, here and there. And before you know it, you spend 5 hours, 6 hours, just trying to, keep up with happenings in the social media world or in the world generally. Okay, so I would say in short that lack of the understanding of the fact that time is actually life, and lack of personal understanding of purpose is what I see as the major reasons why teenagers or young people or young adults mismanage their time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Pastor Oyediran.
Thank you.
Okay, Bola, this question is for you. Are there probably times in your life where, or probably days when you just spend the whole day on the phone, on the internet, or just playing around, and you tell yourself at the end of the day, man, I just wasted the whole day doing nothing? Are there times like that? It actually happened?
To be honest, there are days like that, but not actually on phone.
Okay. So what else causes that kind of distraction?
So there was a day I couldn't solve a mathematics question.
Okay.
Like I spent the whole day solving just a question.
Really? Okay.
And I didn't get it. I had to just pack it up and then.
Wow.
Just
That must have been
left.
very painful. Oh my God. Really?
It was stressful,
So
actually.
hope you still got the answers to that question.
I went to meet my
Praise
teacher
God.
to explain.
Okay, that's good.
So aside that, there are some days also I just decide not to read, just play ball or play video games.
Really? Wow.
So I love playing video games actually.
Are you serious?
That's another.
Alright.
Apart from social media, I think football and sporting activities It's also another. Well, as good as they are, as good as being involved in other activities that, like we call extracurricular activities, as good as they are, sometimes you spend about maybe an average of 1.5 hours watching Arsenal and Man U. By the way, I'm an Arsenal fan anyway. So watching Arsenal and Man U, and then you spend the next 3 hours discussing whether the penalty was, whether the call for the penalty was actually right or wrong, and you are sweating and you are cursing and you are, sometimes I feel I get amazed when I see young people discussing some of this with passion. They'll be telling you 1963 when this and that, they'll be, and unfortunately, it's a very, 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 how do I put it? A platform for time wasting.
Yeah. You can call all of this time wasters.
Time wasting.
So Jola, tell us something. I know there are some days where you spend your whole time doing absolutely nothing and you regret it at the end of the day. So can you share some of your experiences with us?
Yes, you see absolutely nothing. Well, in that moment, you actually feel like you're doing something.
Okay.
So a few days ago.
All right.
My friends came over to the house and they slept over. And then she brought her laptop.
Okay.
Which is a problem that I thought I had overcome. So I love movies.
Wow. Okay.
Next to reading, I love movies. So she was like, so we're talking like a few days before that day, and she was like, there's this movie. So when she told me the story, I was like, I have to watch it. So we had Saturday and Sunday was very busy because we had a lot of stuff planned for the weekend. So we did that, and then on Monday I was exhausted beyond. I was exhausted, so I got up around 11.
All right.
Okay, I got up around 11, and then my mom was like, "Oh, that we need to wash clothes." I was like, "Wait, what?" Anyway, long story short, I put the clothes in the machine, and then we started to. So I brought her laptop out, and then I started to see the movie, and I was there.
How many hours?
From one movie to the next movie.
Makes sense.
Wow. And I was just like, okay, today, because I wanted to read, I wanted to do other stuff.
Okay.
I needed to update an attendance online and send it.
All right.
And I had all of that planned out for the day.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'll get to it. And then, so I went from one movie to the second movie, to the third movie.
Wow.
I'm not even joking. And then, before I know it, the whole day was gone.
Are you
I was like, wait, what happened?
Wow.
And I was really disappointed because I'm like, God, I thought I had passed this level and all of that. But it was good to realize that, you can go from one movie into another movie, and, so it takes a lot of discipline.
Surely, discipline.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jola. Okay, Pastor Tunde, can you tell us about some of the effects and consequences of poor time management?
Well, like we did say the other time, the time is life. So the primary consequence of wastage of time is, of course, wastage of life. So if anyone wastes his time, he's automatically wasting his life.
Right. Okay.
So the inability to achieve anything reasonable out of life, personal disappointment will always follow, or will always be the outcome of someone who fails to manage his time properly. Like Jola was saying the other time, while watching the films, she may be enjoying it, you'll be enjoying it, and you'll be going from one thing to the other. But at the end of the day, when you look back and say, what actually have I achieved?
Throughout the day.
Throughout the day, you discover that he has achieved nothing. Even though she was busy doing something. But at the end of the day, she achieved nothing in the real sense of it. And so, the first and primary consequence and the most dangerous part of it is that it amounts to waste of life. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pastor. All right. So, Jola, how are teenagers supposed to plan effectively to use their time wisely? How do you think teenagers can plan effectively to use their time wisely?
In a very practical sense.
Okay.
You can't manage your time.
All right. So what do you mean by that?
Okay. So that experience taught me that, like, there's just so much to do.
Okay.
Do you understand? And so when you try to manage your time, there's this thing I talked about recently, and it's about trying to try. A lot of us are trying to, and then we don't eventually do anything. So that experience was so practical for me, and so when I slept that night, very disappointed in myself and all of that. So I woke up the next morning, I'm like, Jesus, please just help me. Because what Pastor says is so important. Like, it amounts to wasting your life. Okay, so I just realized that I could actually be a time waster. And so what I did was be intentional. I prayed. I told God, I don't want to waste my life. I don't want to waste my time. And if I can spend an entire day watching a movie, that's just horrible. Do you understand? So when I woke up the following day, I said, Lord, this is all that I have planned to do. Help me to achieve it. So really, it's about intentionality. It's about committing your ways to God's hands. Do you understand? And another really practical thing you can do is have a to-do list. Do you understand?
Very important.
Have a list of everything that you want to do, and then as you achieve it, you take it. Oh, I have done this. I have done this. So it gives you a sense of fulfillment.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jola. This has been a very interesting conversation about time management. But right now, we have to go on a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Teens Affairs on Foursquare TV. And if you're just joining us, we've been talking about time management and how teenagers and young persons can manage time effectively. Pastor Oyedira, going back a bit, there was something you said about movies, that's Jola, watching movies being time wasting. So don't you think that people can actually learn one or two things from movies?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, we can actually learn one or two things from watching movies, but you know, it's often said that too much of anything is bad. You know, there are actually movies you can watch intentionally, you know, to learn a few lessons from them. But sitting down, watching movies from morning till evening, especially when you are a student, probably you're preparing for UTME exam, or you're supposed to be reading, you know, towards your WAEC exam or stuff like that. And then you sit down, and I think it's actually more of setting our priorities right. Really. When it comes to things like that, because thinking back while we were on break, I was thinking that actually we could learn a lot of things from, because I also have watched a couple of Christian movies. Some of them, of course, talked about prayer, you know, talk about you know, how to serve God effectively and stuff like that. So you can actually learn lessons from watching movies, but it shouldn't override, or you shouldn't take the time you're supposed to be to allot to certain other things in your life, especially when it has to do with the important things at whatever stage that you are in life. All right, because it's often said that men are in sizes and life is in phases. So at any phase of your life, particularly we're talking about teens now, I assume that majority of the teenagers should be in school, maybe in secondary school, university, or whatever. So what should take the largest percentage of the usage of their time should be something that has to do with the academics at that time. All right. So if that movie has something to do with the academics, or has something that she has to learn, you know, along the line, it's good. But spending 24 hours or 12 hours or 7 hours watching a movie, actually, I think is too much. It's too much.
And everything is bad. Something like that.
I also think that it depends on what you're trying to achieve. Like, for me, I had things that I had planned to do
for that day.
So it defeated the purpose. So like, if you're a movie producer and that is your field, like, you know, it's just about an individual. Do you understand? So what I consider time wasting might not be time wasting for you. Do you understand? It depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Perfect.
So in that instance, I wasted
In addition, I was like, even though she was discussing, like, she was talking about time management and watching of movies, I was like, what if my movie is, I'm having a chemistry exam tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I'm watching a movie. The movie is just about chemicals. A teacher, like students in class, and the teacher is teaching chemistry in all topics. I'm watching that movie. I watched it for the whole day. Is it bad? So I answered.
It doesn't have anything, to do with the chemistry exam you're preparing for tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
That question must be answered. Before we can be able to say whether it's time wasting or not.
Exactly.
Okay, because it does not have anything to do with that phase of your life, which is very important now, because it's like life is like a ladder, has many rungs. The first rung leads to the next one. If you miss the first one, you may not be able to climb to the other one.
Right.
Okay, so it does not have anything to do with the phase you are passing through at that time. I would say that there's something that's called delayed gratification.
Yeah.
So why don't you wait until? So when you are watching, it's like Yoruba people will say, a bachelor that is talking about maybe paying school fees now. All right, what's he supposed to talk about first? Is he not how to get a wife or to marry before you now talk about payment of school fees? Okay, so it has to be in stages. All right, so what, like she rightly said, what constitutes time wasting to someone might not necessarily be time wasting to the other one. But each one was able to answer the question: what contribution does this thing I'm spending my time on has? Right, to put into the stage that I'm passing through correctly.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sorry, and since we're talking about teenagers because teenagers can be unruly. So because I said what constitutes time wasting to you, and someone might be like, oh, that's what she said. I mean, this is not time wasting to me. Do you understand? So what determines whether you're wasting your time is what you're trying to achieve, who you're trying to become, and then we measure life in seasons. Yeah. So this season of my life, what am I trying to achieve? It would make you understand whether or not you're wasting your time. Okay, so let's just clarify.
Thank you very much, Jola. Thank you. All right, Bola, can you tell us how important is having a to-do list? How important is it?
So, I say it's very important.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, but for me, it does not actually work for me.
Why?
Because I've tried it a number of times.
Okay.
I discovered I only achieved the first two. Is that I achieved the first two or the first one? So to-do list might be very important to some people. That is actually good. The reason is actually good. It helps you've identified the stuff you want to do for the whole day. That is, you're not wasting your time doing anything aside these stuff that you've listed out. So what if in some way you find yourself doing something else, then maybe that thing you're doing is very, very important to what you've put on your to-do list. That's the point where to-do list is not good for me. Because I find I'm not actually achieving all you're just achieve few.
Okay.
And then the rest I just dump it.
All right, Jola, so do you have a to-do list? Of course. Okay, so how important is it?
Very, very. So now having a to-do list doesn't mean that you would achieve everything in it, but it helps you measure.
It's like a guide.
Exactly. Do you understand? It gives you a focus for what you're trying to achieve. Do you understand? So I think it's not what you use. So now, because I have it to do, it doesn't mean I'm a super time manager. Do you understand? No, it doesn't work that way. So that's the importance of committing your ways to God's hands. But having it's just like saying I'm a Christian and I have God has a plan for my life and you don't have a vision for your life. I mean, it doesn't work. Do you understand? So having a to-do list is a way to guide you. Do you understand? So you look at it, whatever you're doing. And then one of the things that it does is it helps you remember. Because when you have so much to do, you can lose track of some of the other things that you have to do, especially when something is more important than these other things, but this is still important. Do you understand? So it's like maybe you want to iron your clothes. It's also part of, but you may just have other things that are more important than ironing. Ironing is still important. Do you understand? So it just helps you remember some of the things that you have to do.
Okay, thank you very much. So Pastor Oyedira, can you tell us about the benefits of time management?
Number one, it prevents you from gaining speed in the wrong direction. All right? And like if I must encourage some of our viewers that may be in Bola's shoes, that's maybe because over time they've not been achieving some of the things on their to-do list. They think maybe to-do list is not important after all. But I want to say that it's very important. And thank God that Yola also, alluded to that, saying that it helps you to, if you're going, we're in Lagos now, you want to go to Ibadan, you know that the first thing you do is to set out from your house, go towards this direction, go towards the right, and it's okay. Once I get to this point, I go this direction and I follow. But if you do not have that written down, or you don't have that, pictured in your mind already, and you just stepped out, turn left instead of turning right, no matter how fast you're traveling, you can never
travel in the wrong direction.
you're traveling or the fast lane in the wrong direction. So it's very important for us to know what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and the joy of doing what you want to do with your life, achieving what you want to achieve with your life, can never be. There's nothing. No amount of money can buy that. All right. So if you have a to-do list and you are following it based on the time that is allotted to you, of course, each one of us has 24 hours in a day to achieve all we want to achieve. By the time you're retiring to your room in the night and you look at what you have set out to achieve today, and you see that, out of our 5 things that I set out in the morning to achieve, I've achieved 3. It gives you, there's this joy that comes.
Yeah.
When you know that you are doing what you had wanted to do with your life,
Yeah.
you are achieving it one step at a time.
Right.
Okay, so there's that joy that comes. And sooner or later, those people or the young people who have learned to manage their time will see that their lives will be better than those who just tag along in life.
Sure.
So the pressure of trying to be all things to all people, the scripture in I think in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 11 in the New Living Translation, it talks about time and chance happens to them all in King James. But in, I think, New Living Translation, it says, it's by being at the right place, at the right time, doing the right things. Right? So the battle is not to the strong, the race is not to the swift, but being at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing is part of the foundation for achieving great things in life. So I will encourage everyone, teenagers, our young ones, out there watching us right now, and to imbibe this habit of managing their lives within the time that we've been given.
Very, very
And then
important.
something I'd like to also add to that is that
Okay.
as you grow older, you get busier. So you don't grow older and be like, I will just try to. So if you haven't learned to manage your time, you're just a teenager.
Right.
What do you have to do? Wake up, go to school, come
school.
back.
Imagine when you now have husband
So
to
where
take care of.
you get like
And
you
children
have
to
more
take care of,
responsibilities. You have, so if you haven't learned to manage your time in this season, I mean, it's going to be just off.
Beautiful. Wow, it's been a very interesting conversation. Thank you very much, Pastor Oyedero Tunde. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. Of course, these wonderful people.
And also to these amazing teenagers here, Bola and Jola. Thank you very much for coming to the program. It was so good having you here. All right, so that's all we can take today on Teens Affairs on Foursquare TV. It's been an interesting time, and I've learned a lot, and I hope you all out there have also learned a lot. So till we come your way next time, remember to manage your time properly as teenagers. God bless you and have a blessed week ahead.